like your mustache, by the way.
My name is Alan Casillas, and I played drums for Hail the Sun Live. I did pre-production for majority of the songs on this record.
Alan is an undiscovered gem in the LA area. He's going to be a huge producer one day. He already does do really solid work.
Alan is funny because more and more he kind of just like ends up in our band, I think. And he doesn't even want to be in the band. He doesn't even care. It's so weird, but yeah, we love him and he's great at it. He's extremely helpful when it comes to creating the drums because having learned so many of the Hail the Sun songs like he has to play with us live, he is extremely familiar with Donovan's sort of nature as a drummer as opposed to his own. And sometimes he'll demo a lot of things and it's like, that's way too Alan. But most of the time he knows kind of how Donovan would feel it already.
Definitely adds his Alan flavor to everything. It's almost like the missing piece of Hail the Sun that we didn't know we needed until we found it. It's been a joy and a pleasure to work with Alan.
You're gonna make him cry.
I hope so. I want you to cry, Alan.
He's so good. Alan, you're good. And we love you so much.
Love you, Alan.
We love you.
He's super integral in our writing process now, being that his house where he records is like 1.5 miles or 2 miles from our rehearsal space. So during the writing process for this record, we would like finish a song, kind of the skeleton, this idea into this idea into this idea, which is how we work. And then we would take that while it was fresh and go straight to Alan's and record a version of it that we could listen back to that sounded good because it was going through his system instead of just a phone, which is what we would usually demo with.
We would bring full things in, and he would kind of just be the fifth member who didn't necessarily write anything, but would help as an outside opinion and someone who knew us very well after playing with us for so long and having known about us before that, and could say things about moving parts of the songs around, make comments about vocal melodies. I mean, he's a great singer too, and he's really good at melodies. So the way I think about it now is I could bring Alan what feels like a puzzle with pieces that are not pushed into place. They're floating on top of each other. They all still fit, but they're floating on top. And when I come work with Alan, he'll make slight suggestions here, small suggestions there, really evoke a different type of performance out of me that he hears. So something that he hears that would make the song better that I may not have heard, down to the inflection of the way I say a word. And that there is just pushing the puzzle pieces into place and making it feel way more complete. We have the same vision and are on the same wavelength. I think if anything, the only times we've ever not completely seen eye to eye is when he'll sometimes want to go even simpler, especially with drums. He'll want to make things even more pulled back, and sometimes I won't want to. I want to still keep it a little more complex.
Donnie is very good at, it's like, hey, you got to record the actual song right now. Have you written the lyrics? And he's like, nah. And then just like as he's walking over to the microphone, he's writing his lyrics. So this may be his first time in a while where he actually gets to sit and write parts and be like, does this work or not? And like, no, let's change that. It's exciting because given that the last albums have been really good, I can only imagine this has to be better because he has more time to think about it, digest it, chew on it, cook it more.
Usually we'll show up to a studio and not have too many full demos, but it just makes the process easier when you have a pre-production of all these songs. It's kind of like rough drafts, you come up with one rough draft and then you record it, and then things can slowly change from there because you hear it so often, as opposed to showing up to the studio with a freshly written song and you're like, this is what we're going to record. So this time is pretty special because we've gone through a couple drafts of these songs, even cut a couple songs we felt weren't right for the album. So yeah, these 10 songs are something that we really like. So
I think this album's going to be the best album they've had yet. I feel like I shouldn't say that, but I just have a feeling this is going to be their best album. There's still that chaos. There's still that randomness that is Hail the Sun, but it's a little more focused. It's a little more dialed in. It's like we took the time to aim where we were going to shoot and calibrated the angle and the trajectory, as opposed to just here's part and like go. There's been actual like meticulous thought out building of these songs.